Have you ever wondered how many amazing opportunities left simply because you didn't believe yourself? How many times have you given up on something important for fear of failing or thinking that it was not good enough? These feelings are more common than we imagine, and often we don't even realize when we are underestimating. But what if I told you that there is a powerful way to identify these limiting behaviors and turn them into strength? Today we will explore a deep and relevant theme, the 13 shocking signs that you may be underestimated, and how the old philosophy of Stoicism can help you overcome these negative patterns and build a resilient and confident mindset. Studies show that more than 70% of people face imposter syndrome at some point in their lives. This means that they often feel that their achievements are not deserved or that they do not have enough competence to deal with certain situations. The good news is that this sensation need not be permanent. With practical tools and changes in the internal perspective, we can reprogram our minds to see our abilities clearly. In this video, you will learn the most common signs of personal underestimation, both external and internal. Why this happens and what factors contribute to this behavior. How to apply Stoic principles in your daily life to combat these limiting thoughts and develop a more balanced attitude towards adversity. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy born in ancient Greece, offers valuable insights on how to control our emotions and reactions, even in difficult times. Throughout this content, we will show how these old ideas are still extremely useful in the modern world, helping you face challenges with calm, logical, and self-confidence. If you are ready to discover your true potential and learn to see challenges as growth opportunities, keep watching. This is just the beginning of a transformative journey. A signal: avoid new challenges for fear of failing. One of the most obvious signals of underestimation is to avoid further challenges simply for fear of failing. This happens when you automatically rule out interesting opportunities because you believe you won't be able to deal with them. For example, imagine that your boss suggests that you take a new project at work, or that someone offers you a chance to participate in a public lecture. The first answer that comes to mind may be, "I don't have enough experience," or "It seems very difficult for me." Taku. These thoughts reflect their internal doubt about their own skills. The problem here is that by avoiding challenges, you limit your personal and professional growth. Each new experience is an opportunity to learn and develop, even if it comes with uncertainties. Instead of focusing on possible mistakes, try to see these situations as steps towards progress. Remember, even the biggest hits have begun with minor challenges overcome. Constantly compare with others. Another clear sign of underestimation is the tendency to constantly compare with others. This behavior can arise on social networks, the professional environment, or even in personal situations. For example, you can get admiring the achievements of others, promotions, travel, happy relationships, and automatically feel that your own life is not up to. This constant comparison creates a sense of inferiority and can lead to demotivation. The problem is that each person has their own trajectory and unique contexts. When we focus only on the achievements of others, we lose sight of our own progress and efforts. Moreover, often these achievements we see on social networks are just idealized versions of reality. Instead of comparing yourself, focus on celebrating your victories, however smaller, and set goals based on your own pace of growth. Third sign: minimize personal achievements or receiving compliments. If you have a habit of minimizing your achievements or discourse when you get compliments, this can be a strong index of underestimation. Imagine that you worked hard on a project and achieved great results. When someone recognizes your effort by saying something like, "You did an amazing job," your automatic answer is something like, "Oh, it was luck," or "Actually, anyone could have done it. This type of reaction reflects a difficulty in accepting your own value and recognizing your skills. Minimizing your achievements not only harms your self-esteem, but it can also push people around you who can interpret their excessive humility as a lack of confidence. Instead, learn to receive compliments with gratitude and celebrate your victories, as simple as they seem. This will help strengthen your trust and allow other people to see how capable you really are. Think, I'm not good enough. Excessive. Self-criticism is one of the most common forms of underestimation, manifested through recurring thoughts like, I am not good enough. This type of internal dialogue can arise in many situations, by applying for a new job, starting a project, or even everyday tasks. For example, imagine that you are considering registering for a job that seems challenging. Your mind begins to list all the reasons why you don't qualify, even before you try. This mental pattern limits your chances of success, as it prevents you from exploring your full potential. Remember that no one is perfect, and growing up involves leaving the comfort zone. Instead of focusing on the supposed flaws, list your past skills and achievements. This will help balance your perspective and increase your confidence to face new challenges. Anticipate negative scenarios. Before you even try, anticipating negative scenarios is a mental habit that many people develop when they are underestimated. This pattern, also known as catastrophic pessimism, occurs when you imagine all possible failures even before you start something. For example, imagine that you are thinking of asking for an increase in work. Before you even mention the subject to your boss, your mind already creates a narrative. They will say no, will see me like someone greedy, or I don't deserve it. These thoughts prevent you from taking concrete actions and exploiting real opportunities. The problem here is that these negative scenarios are often based on assumptions, not facts. When you anticipate problems without real basis, you end up creating psychological barriers that limit your progress. Instead, try to focus on potential solutions and get ready for any positive or negative result. This will help reduce anxiety and increase your willingness to act. Sixth sign. Difficulty in recognizing their own skills and qualities. Another important sign of underestimation is the difficulty in seeing their own skills and qualities. Many times, we are so focused on our mistakes or limitations that we forget to recognize what we do well. For example, imagine that you have completed a big project at work successfully, but instead of celebrating your achievement, spends hours reflecting on small details that could have been better. This mental pattern can lead to a distorted view of yourself, where your defects look much bigger than they really are. To combat this, it is essential to practice balanced self-assessment. Book a few minutes daily to list things you are proud of, no matter how small they may seem. This will help strengthen your self-confidence and develop a more realistic perspective on your abilities. Remember, everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and recognizing their talents is critical to their personal growth. Receive constructive criticism as personal attacks. When you interpret constructive criticism such as personal attacks, this can be a clear sign that you are underestimating. This behavior occurs because, in doubting your own skills, any negative feedback, even when well-meaning, is perceived as a threat to your self-esteem. For example, imagine that your co-worker point out an area where you can improve in a project. Instead of seeing this as an opportunity for growth, you can react defensively, thinking they are saying I'm unable, or they don't see my effort. This reaction prevents you from enjoying the advantages of constructive criticism, which are valuable tools for personal and professional development. To change this perspective, try to separate your identity from specific situations. Remember that receiving feedback does not mean that you are inappropriate. It means that there is room to improve, something we all have. Sign: do not express opinions for fear of being judged. Avoiding expressing your opinions at meetings, conversations, or debates can be a strong indicator of underestimation. This behavior arises when you fear other people can reject or criticize your ideas. For example, imagine that you are at a meeting at work and someone asks for suggestions on how to improve a process. Although you have a great idea, you decide not to share it because you think they'll think it's silly or someone will contradict me. Nako. This hesitation reflects your internal doubt about the value of your contributions. However, by silent, you lose your chance to show your potential and positively influence the group's decisions. Remember that your opinions have value, even if they are not unanimously accepted. Start short discussions with friends or trusted colleagues to gain comfort and safety when expressing yourself. Sign: accept less than it deserves for lack of self-confidence. Accepting less than you really deserve is common behavior between those who underestimate themselves. This can happen in various areas of life, such as work, relationships, or even financial negotiations. For example, imagine that you are negotiating a salary during a job interview. Although you know that your skills have value, you ask you less than you would like because you are afraid of seeming demanding or non-realistic. This pattern reflects your doubt about your own merit and ability to contribute significantly. When you accept less than you deserve, you send an implicit message that you do not value your own efforts. To change this, start by practicing internal self-negotiation. List your achievements and skills before entering any bargaining situation. Remember that recognizing your value is essential to achieving balance and personal success. Sign: delay important decisions for uncertainty or doubt. Procrastination in making important decisions can be a direct reflection of underestimation. When you doubt your skills or are afraid to make the wrong choice, it tends to postpone the decision in the hope that things will be resolved alone or that someone else assumes responsibility. For example, imagine that you need to decide between two career opportunities. Instead of carefully evaluating the pros and cons, you advance indefinitely, thinking, "I don't know if I'm prepared," or "maybe I'm making a bad choice." This behavior limits your progress, as decisions are inevitable and postpone them only anxiety increases. To overcome this, practice dividing great decisions into small steps. List all available information, trust your adaptability, and remember that you cannot always predict all results. After all, growing involves learning from the choices, good or bad. 11th sign: delegate responsibilities that you could assume alone. Delegating tasks or responsibilities you know to be able to accomplish can be a sign of underestimation. This behavior arises when you prefer to avoid initial discomfort or are afraid of not being up to the challenge. For example, imagine that your boss asks you to lead a team in an important project. Instead of accepting, you suggest that someone else more experienced assume the role, thinking, "I'm not sure if I can do it right." Although delegating sometimes necessary, doing so for lack of confidence limits your chances of growth and skill demonstration. To change this pattern, start small. Take gradual responsibilities that know how to be manageable and build your trust over time. Remember that each new experience is an opportunity to learn and develop your abilities. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will be facing challenges greater. 12th sign: scented constant anxiety about the future. Feeling constant anxiety about the future can be a clear symptom of underestimation, especially when this concern is exacerbated by doubt about your own abilities. For example, imagine that You are thinking of changing jobs or starting a new project, but your mind is obsessed with all the things that can go wrong. What if I can't adapt? I have won so far. This excessive anxiety creates a mental barrier that prevents you from acting clearly and confidence. The problem here is that focusing only on possible negative scenarios distorts your view of reality. To deal with this, practice techniques such as balanced visualization. Instead of anticipating only the worst, listed both positive and negative results and prepare for both. This will help reduce anxiety and increase your emotional resilience. Fifth sign: have difficulty dealing with failures or errors. Having difficulty dealing with failures or errors is a clear sign of underestimation, as it reflects a limited view of learning as an integral part of growth. Many people interpret failures as definitive evidence of their disability rather than opportunities to improve. For example, imagine that you have presented a project at work and received negative feedback. Instead of seeing this as a chance to adjust your method, you might think, "I'm unable," or "it will never work." This mindset prevents you from extracting valuable lessons from challenging experiences. To change this perspective, practice see errors as necessary steps in the learning process. Remember that even the biggest successes come after several attempts and adjustments. Cultivating this growth mindset will help transform your failures into opportunities for strengthening and evolution. Now that we discuss the 13 signs of underestimation, it is important to understand why these behaviors arise. Often we do not consciously realize why we doubt so much of ourselves. However, by exploring the roots of these standards, we can begin to disassemble them and create new ways of thinking and acting. One of the main factors that contribute to underestimation are rooted psychological influences since childhood. Traumatic experiences or repeated criticism during the development phase can lead to the formation of limiting beliefs about oneself. For example, if you grew up in an environment where your efforts were constantly minimized or criticized, you can internalize the idea that it will never be enough. These beliefs become automatic and affect their adult self-image. In addition, the human brain has a natural tendency to focus more on errors than in hits, known as bias of negativity. This evolutionary mechanism helped our ancestors to avoid dangers, but today it may exaggerate our perception of failures, leading us to underestimate our skills and achievements. Another great influencer of underestimation is the impact of social pressures. We live in an era where the constant comparison on social networks creates an illusion of perfection that few people can achieve. When we see only the brightest moments of the lives of others, it is easy to feel that we are getting behind. This culture of idealization generates insecurities and reinforces the feeling of inadequacy. In addition, cultural norms that excessively value material or professional success can make you feel inferior if you don't meet these standards. The fear of not meeting external expectations often leads to self-criticism and underestimation. Finally, emotional issues play a crucial role in the perpetuation of these standards. Anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem are closely linked to underestimation. When you are constantly concerned about the future or brooding past experiences, it is difficult to see your own capabilities clearly. In addition, the fear of the judgment of others can be paralyzing, preventing you from taking initiatives or expressing your true voice. These combined factors create a vicious cycle. The more you underestimate you, the more likely it is to avoid challenges, which further reinforces your belief in disability. However, it is possible to interrupt this cycle by recognizing its origins and actively working to change your perspective. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy originating from ancient Greece, offers a powerful approach to facing internal and external challenges. Its core is based on four main virtues: wisdom, courage, self-discipline, and justice, that can be adapted to the modern context to help you overcome underestimation and develop confidence in yourself. Let's explore how these principles can be applied to your daily life. Wisdom, understanding what we can control and what we cannot. One of the fundamental pillars of Stoicism is the distinction between what is under our control and what is not. When you internalize this idea, dramatically reduces stress and anxiety related to underestimation. Many times, we are trapped in worries about things that are out of our reach, such as the opinions of others or uncertain results. This creates a sense of impotence that contributes directly to excessive self-criticism. For example, imagine that you are about to present an important project at work. Instead of worrying about what others will think, are they like and fail, focus only on what you can control: your preparation, clarity of thought, and delivery of content. By doing so, you automatically decrease unnecessary pressure and strengthen your trust. Practical technique: negative visualization. A classic Stoic technique is negative visualization, where you anticipate bad scenarios before you act. This practice is not pessimistic. On the contrary, it helps to prepare emotionally for any result. For example, before asking for an increase in work, list all possible outcomes, including the worst case. Then reflect on how it would react to each situation. This exercise reduces anxiety and increases its resilience. Courage. Facing challenges. Calmly and preparation. Stoic courage does not mean absence of fear, but the ability to act despite discomfort. When you practice this virtue, you begin to see challenges as growth opportunities rather than paralyzing threats. For example, if you are afraid of public speaking, face this fear as a natural part of the process. Prepare yourself carefully, train your skills, and remember that even the best speakers have already started as beginners. Every step you take, even if small, contributes to your progress. Practical technique. Stoic daily. Keep a diary where you record your daily experiences and how you reacted to them. By reflecting on difficult times, you can identify limiting thinking patterns and replace them with more constructive approaches. Writing also strengthens your self-awareness and allows you to recognize your own advances over time. Self-discipline. Resist momentary comfort for larger goals. Self-discipline is essential to overcome procrastination caused by underestimation. We often avoid challenges because we prefer immediate comfort to the temporary discomfort needed to achieve our goals. Stoicism teaches that true happiness comes from fulfilling our duties and pursuing significant goals, regardless of circumstances. For example, if you start a new project because you feel not ready, force yourself to take the first step. Divide the project into small tasks and commit to completing only one of them today. As you advance, your trust will grow naturally. Practical technique. Morning reflection. Dedicate a few minutes every morning to plan your journey of the day. Think about the possible obstacles you can face and decide in advance how you will react to them. This creates a proactive mindset and prevents unexpected surprises from deviating you from the way. Justice. Treat yourself and others with respect and honesty. Stoic justice involves balanced its responsibilities to oneself and others. This means recognizing your own value without falling into arrogance, as well as respecting the contributions of others. When you treat yourself with justice, you learn to accept your mistakes as part of the growth process, rather than seeing them as definitive flaws. For example, when someone gives you negative feedback, ask yourself, does this person really want to help me or are being unfair? Approach criticism calmly and use it as an improvement tool. Similarly, be honest with yourself about your achievements and difficulties. Practical technique, daily gratitude. At the end of the day, list 3 things you are proud of or feel gratitude. This simple practice helps to change its internal perspective, focusing on positive achievements and reducing the tendency to minimize its qualities. By integrating these Stoic principles into your routine, you will gradually develop a more resilient and confident mindset. Remember that change does not happen overnight. It requires patience, consistency, and dedication. In the next chapter, we will propose a practical challenge to put these ideas into action. Now that we explore the Stoic principles and their practical applications, it's time to put it all into practice. To help you start your journey towards trust and resilience, we propose 2 simple challenges that you can integrate into your daily routine. These exercises are designed to be accessible but powerful enough to generate significant changes. Challenge 1. Negative visualization. Choose a specific challenge that you have avoided for fear or uncertainty. Whether it's a difficult conversation, a new project, or even something small like public speaking, book a few minutes to practice the negative viewing technique. List all the possible bad scenarios that may arise when facing this challenge. For example, if you are asking for an increase in work, write things like, "They will say no," or "will see me as greedy." Then ask yourself, if this happens, how can I handle it? By getting emotionally preparing for the worst, you will drastically reduce anxiety and increase your ability to act calmly and clearly. Challenge 2. Daily gratitude. For a whole week, take a few minutes before bed to list 3 things you proud or feel gratitude. It can be something big, like a professional success, or something small, such as completing a task you were postponing. The purpose of this exercise is to reprogram your mind to recognize your own achievements and qualities, fighting the tendency to minimize your efforts. Remember, every step, however small, deserves to be celebrated. These challenges may seem simple, but their accumulated impact is huge. By incorporating them into your daily life, you will begin to gradually notice a change in the way you face challenges and evaluate your skills. The key is in consistency. Practice these exercises regularly and observe how your mindset transforms over time. In the next chapter, we will reflect on everything we have learned and reinforce the importance of continuing this personal growth journey. Stay tuned! We have reached the end of this video, but your journey is just starting. Over the past few minutes, we have explored 13 clear signs that you may be underestimated. We understand the deep causes of this behavior and find out how to apply Stoic principles to transform your mindset. Now it's time to put it all into practice. Remembering the main points, we identify common signals of underestimation, from avoiding new challenges to minimizing their achievements. We explore the reasons behind these standards, including psychological influences, social pressures, and emotional issues. We present practical solutions based on Stoicism, such as the distinction between what we can control and what we cannot, the importance of courage and self-discipline, and the need to treat oneself with justice. Stoicism teaches us that our strength is not in the external circumstances, but in the way we choose to react to them. When you learn to see challenges as growth opportunities, accept your limits without falling into excessive self-criticism, and developing a more balanced attitude towards adversity, your confidence begins to flourish naturally. Remember, consistent small changes can lead to major transformations. Start today. Practice the negative visualization to face your fears. List 3 things you are proud of daily and dedicate yourself to cultivating a resilient mindset. Every step you take to self-confidence is a valuable investment in your future. Finally, I invite you to share your reflections in the comments. Which of these signs did you most identify? How do you intend to use Stoicism to change your mindset? Your contribution may inspire other viewers to also embark on this journey of personal growth. Subscribe to the channel to track more content like this and continue building a stronger, resilient, and confident version of yourself. Thanks for watching. See you next time.